Welcome back to Mustache Moto. It's Ben, and I am lost. Okay, maybe lost is a little bit strong for the situation I'm in, but I don't know exactly where I am. And why don't I know exactly where I am? Well, because when I get out and ride, I tend to just take roads. I don't like staying on those main roads that all the other motorcyclists are on and kind of doing the same thing over and over. So when I get out, I look to get off those main highways, those main roads, and just see what I can find. And I have found some just absolute killer roads. I mean, some of the best roads I've ever been on are small ones that I never would have seen otherwise. So there's a way that I find these really, really good roads. And that is by looking at the names of all the roads that I pass and then looking for keywords that tip me off to how good the road's going to be. So what are the keywords? I mean, think about where you'd have a really good, windy, scenic road. So if the name has mountain, pass, bald, peak, those are going to be pretty good roads. I can almost guarantee you.
All right, Sassafras Gap Road. Gap is a good thing to have. Let's see if this is any fun.
You have Overlook, Parkway, Byway, things like that. Really going to be a good road, most likely, at least worth checking out. Names that have to do with water. So if it's a creek, a river, a branch, a ford in the name, all of those I've found just fantastic, fantastic rides along. And then there's a few other things that sometimes these are just less traveled and more interesting. If it has old or historic in the name, that's generally a road I like to try and go on. So get out on these roads and kind of just get lost. So I may take 2 or 3 of them, keep going, and either I'll come out somewhere that I know, or maybe I have to turn around and just go back to the direction, or I find a new city, or a new little town that I want to check out. So there's a few things you can do. If you've never done this before, I strongly suggest it, first of all. But if you're a little nervous about getting lost, like getting lost, there's a few things you can do and that you should do to make sure you don't get too stressed out about it and that you find your way safely back. First and foremost, make sure you download offline maps on your phone and or GPS. So Google Maps, the BMW Connected Ride app, on X Off-Road app. These are great GPS apps, and all of them allow you to download the map and even route you when you have absolutely no cell service. And a lot of times I'm in places that I've got nothing. So that's a real key. You can always punch in the nearest gas station or a little town or whatever and get somewhere, talk to somebody, find some more good roads, or work your way home. So that's number 1. 2 is make sure you've got plenty of gas. You don't want to be doing this when you've got, less than a gallon of gas. You got a 50-mile range and you get really lost. You've always got to be able to at least turn around and go back out the way you came. So make sure there's gas in the tank. Bring maybe a bottle of water. I like to have snacks on the bike. Toilet paper, important. That'll stress you out if you got to go and there's nowhere to wipe. So all this stuff help kind of keep you a little bit more settled, a little more confident. Of course, bring a riding buddy with you. That's always a great thing to do, or 2 or 3, and just get out and explore. Now, there's a few ways when you do get lost or get yourself turned around or get yourself, out of your comfort zone. There's a few ways before you get on the phone and have it route you out. There's a few things you can try to get back to civilization. So one is just look at the road you're on. And when you get to an intersection, compare it to the road you're crossing or you're intersecting with. Which road's a bigger road? The bigger road's probably going to lead you more quickly to civilization. If you're on gravel road, you look for a paved road. If you're on a paved but unpainted, unstriped road, look for one that's striped. Look for one that's 4 lanes. If you hit a 4 lane, you're pretty much back, so don't worry about anything. Then the other thing you can do is look at the intersection. Who has right-of-way? If the roads are kind of the same size, if one has a stop sign and one doesn't, the one without the stop sign is going to be more heavily trafficked. That's going to be the one that's going to probably get you back to civilization. You can look for water. So if you find a river or creek, stream, go downstream. As you follow it downstream, it's going to get bigger and bigger. It's going to lead you to people. What else? Power lines. If you don't see water, you can watch the power lines. If they get in the utility lines, if they get more concentrated or bigger, you're probably heading towards people. You could also be heading towards a power plant or a dam. That'd be cool to check out too. So I'd go ahead and still follow it. Have some idea of your location. You're probably doing this fairly close to where you live. If you're in the middle of nowhere already, if you live in Alaska, you probably want to be a little bit more careful. Make sure you got somebody with you, and you don't want to get yourself into trouble by getting too far out. It could be 100 miles before you find anybody or find any civilization. So don't get too lost. Stay close enough, or figure out in the beginning how far you can go and comfortably turn around and retrace your steps and remember how you got there. That way, if you go for half an hour and it doesn't look like you're finding what you want or finding a town, you can turn around and backtrack. So a couple of hints for doing that. One, anytime you're going to turn at an intersection, just take a second to really look. What's at the intersection? Is it a house, a church? What color is it? Lots of trees. Everywhere here, of course, has lots of trees. And also look at the name of the road and say it out loud to yourself. Just speaking it will help cement it in your brain. You're going to remember that as you're coming back and be like, oh yeah, Buck Creek Road. That's the one I was on. That'll help you get back to the beginning.
Really take a quick look. Buck Creek Road, say it out loud, off of Highlands Road. There's a stop sign, and it's kind of just a slit off. I'm going to go back towards Highlands. Memorize the area, see what it looks like.
All right, you're ready to get out there and have some fun. Now get out there and ride.